Welcome in, welcome in. We'll kick off in about 30 seconds. Okay, great. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. My name's John. I'm a staff software engineer with 10 plus years of experience. I'm the lead maintainer of Latterly.io, an open source education and career development platform for individuals in tech, biased towards software engineers, but encompassing to some degree product managers and so forth through soft skill development. And Latterly has a need to leave BlitzJS, the current higher order framework under use. So BlitzJS is a full stack toolkit for Next.js. So it's higher order, it wraps around Next.js, and it includes things like opinionated lint tool setup, formatting setup, ORM integration out of the box with Prisma. So some really cool features. One of the things that's been an extreme pain point is social authentication with BlitzJS. And this is a high value feature to my users, specifically Google authentication, log in with Google. It's been such a pain point that I decided to evacuate the Blitz framework.
Daddy.
What?
I was going pee at nap time and I noticed there was no soap.
You can use the soap in this bathroom right here.
So you're saying I can go pee up there, which I already did, and I can wash my hands in here.
Yeah, you can wash your hands in this bathroom.
Thank you.
So, login with Google is a high value feature to users, and so I need to leave BlitzJS. So where to go? Where should I go? Well, the main choice that I would go for is T3 stack. And in fact, there is a migration in progress on the Latterly repository already. So if you go to Latterly, you can scroll to the bottom, you can go to github.com, and notice there's the Blitz app, and then there's Latterly.io, which is a T3 stack app. It's not fully migrated, it's sort of like starting migration. One Neptune, welcome in. I saw an open source boilerplate, NextForge. That's right. So NextForge is another candidate, and since I'm early in the migration timeline, it's not too late to pivot into NextForge if it makes sense. So I looked into NextForge, and here you're going to see why I ultimately decided not to go with it currently as of November 2024. And maybe we'll reevaluate this next year. It's certainly a promising boilerplate, but currently I'm favoring T3 over NextForge for several reasons. One, T3 comes with out-of-the-box social authentication. It comes for free with Discord. In fact, Discord is the primary way to log in to T3 apps. It also includes that Prisma database integration and so forth, as does NextForge. So they both have this feature. The distinction is not in the ORM, it's in the authentication implementation in particular. Now, T3 does not come with Google sign-in out of the box, but it's straightforward to add. In fact, in this migration in progress, Google authentication is already implemented. NextForge has Prisma, but it currently has an issue. So if we go to the NextForge GitHub, some of the things we'll notice, there was a release yesterday. So how stable is this thing? Let's compare T3. I actually didn't look at T3 before the stream started. So a patch 4 days ago, still being continuously updated, but not yesterday. On the Issues tab, there is a Prisma client error. So this is where I start to get concerned. Do I really want to go all in on a framework where one of the key features is that it will make transition with Prisma seamless, and it has a Prisma error? That's starting to look like a red flag. Then I noticed there's 28 issues closed. So 8 issues open seems good. It's a low number. We want a low number of active issues. And in particular, you might look at the star count relative to the issue count. The reason this becomes a bit of a red flag is because it basically signals immature framework. So there's only 28 issues closed. It hasn't even gone through many iterations. In contrast to T3, 44 issues. Oh no, that's worse, right? Well, kind of. Remember that we want to look at the ratio of issue to star. And when you see that there's more than 10x as many stars, it's not as straightforward. It's not as straightforward. So the issue, actually, the ratio seems like fairly consistent. I mean, we can crunch the numbers. Maybe even T3 would be better. So 25 over 44, about 0.56, 25,044 issues. And then Forge is going to have 2,000. Where did we go? So 1.9, so we'll call it 2. So 2 over 8. 2 over 8. So the ratio is better, right? It's about half. It's about half. It's not like an order of magnitude better, but it's about half. So that could break the tie, except for the fact that we just have really a signal of that it's just young and it's a bit immature. And it has, so we're having 2 risk points already. Prisma client problem, outstanding, and the ratio with the not the ratio, but the level of issues is small. So it's as if they haven't even gone through many cycles. Okay, so these would be 2 things that are concerning. Another big difference, by the way, I love a lot about NextForge. Let me say some of the things that are great. It uses PNPM, that's great. It's using the next best practices for SEO, sitemap built-in, security. So it's got ArcJet. It's really thorough. Stripe is supported out of the box. Now, here I see design system Stripe. That's not exactly what I need Stripe for. I'm not so interested in the design system. I need the backend integration with hooks. And it's, oh, here's webhooks. So some of this is just not clear to me if it's, if the piece, so Stripe is integrated out of the box, but are the things that I need to do with Stripe integrated out of the box? Or is it a contrived sort of hello world proof of concept sort of integration? I don't know. It may well be doing just fine, but it's a risk point. This, by the way, I don't consider it a red flag at all. In fact, I think this is a green flag. So this is good. Better stack, okay, that's great. We're using something recognized. It's going to come with Sentry. Where's Sentry noted? Is it noted in here? It's noted under debugging. So it comes with Sentry out of the box, which I really, really love. And if we go to the FAQ, we'll come to that in a minute. If we go to the overview, it's telling you why you should use NextForge. And I agree with a lot of this. I love the fact that it should be cheap and preferably free to start. I love that design point. One Neptune in the chat says Stripe support is horrendous. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Okay, so that's plus oneing my intuition that, okay, it has Stripe out of the box. Laterally uses Stripe, by the way. It has Stripe out of the box, but does it have it the way that I need it is a question mark, isn't it? Let me also look at my other chats. I was looking at the TikTok chat, but I don't want to neglect my other people. Oh, okay, because it'll tumble because I have it on this tab. All right, let me keep going through this, and if you're on like YouTube or Twitch, I'll check with you in a second. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you'll follow the page. Okay, bundle analysis. So it's a it's a monorepo, and it has multiple, it's under structure. It has multiple modules installed by default. PNPM and Turbo Repo, great combo for this, particularly when I want to use Vercel. Works really well out of the box. So Vercel has remote caching for Turbo Repo, so your builds are super fast. With other boilerplates, monorepo boilerplates, the out-of-the-box module orchestration is poor, and this is where NextForge shines. So these are really well named and well organized, including a dedicated email preview server with react.email. I'm super excited about this. Laterally currently does not use React email. I'm not going to get into what we do, but the fact that it's backed by Resend is a really good sign. And the fact that it has its own preview server is a really good sign, okay? So this is basically well organized, which is another green flag, and we're using Shad CDN, we're using Tailwind, we're using awesome stuff. However, that stuff is really easy, if not already included in T3 as well. So even though NextForge is good, is it beating T3? Not clear, not clear. So you can see the main 2 risks that I have so far, specific pain point around Prisma, they could close that issue this month and I could reconsider next month. I mean, realistically, next month is December and I'll be doing vacations. But early next year, I would take another look. That and the maturity thing, if I just see it get proved out a bit more. But let me tell you the third and final concern that I have, and that is around TRPC. So if I go to the FAQ, why don't you use TRPC? And the NextForge maintainers make a good case here. They say, we're going to use server actions because it's a native part of the Next.js framework. You don't need another thing. As developers, we should be questioning every additional library. So we know that we need Next.js. Let's just assume we start there. I mean, I can work you through the logic to get there, but let's just say that you start there. If I have Next.js and if I have server actions, why do I want to add TRPC? You know, it's additional complexity. Is it worth the complexity? Well, I think the answer is yes. And I'm not alone in this. So, I don't know. Let's just Google TRPC versus server actions. And basically, TRPC is really battle tested and it's an awesome library with a lot of really good support behind it. So throwing it out is not necessarily my preference. And then if you read through here, you know, here's some bro on Reddit, I don't know, started a project right before server actions and migrated to them immediately. So this is someone who used TRPC, went to server actions, and now they're thinking of putting TRPC back in. So this would seem to say, and then server actions inability to revalidate a specific sliver of a page is a deal breaker for any highly dynamic views. Yeah. And there's also caching features. There's a lot of cool stuff that you get with TRPC that today is difficult or absent from server actions. Again, server actions continue to evolve. So maybe that will be solved next year. We'll see. But currently, moving from TRPC to server actions is, it seems like a bad move for Latterly, particularly given that Latterly uses Blitz. Blitz has its own RPC framework, which is close to TRPC. So there's going to be work in either migration, but there's a lot less work going towards T3. So these are the main three reasons that I'm currently considering not using NextForge. And I think that's basically the whole case that I wanted to make. So those are the three reasons that I'm currently not considering using NextForge. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you'll follow the page. And I will be working on the T3 migration today in a coding